All right, good morning everyone. Welcome to another I'm Gonna Pack It video, and we're gonna pack it. So start off with this Superman fig. Got a bunch of figs going out today, which is good because we have a lot of that kind of stuff listed or getting listed with the Transformers. We are going to start off with one of my new favorite boxes, the 15-10-6. And we got this, I talked about it before, but we got this on a coupon, the shipping supply. Coupon that you get from having an eBay store. And they're super expensive if you buy them, if you don't buy them with the coupon. I think it was like $50, or maybe like with tax and everything, maybe like $51 or $52 for just like 25 of them. But what I did do, I made an order on Zorro yesterday. I did talk about this before, I think. I made an order on Zorro yesterday, and I found 16-10-6 on Zorro for, I think it was 95 cents a box. And then, let's see, is that two? That's a little low. You know what? I'm gonna let it ride just like it is. And that was before the 20% coupon. So after 20% coupon, they end up being about 70 something cents a piece, which is that's fine. I have found, if y'all buy on Zorro, I have found that Zorro has been a lot less free with the 20% codes lately. Now, we did have one, we did get one over the weekend, so I used it. But they haven't been sending those 20%. They've been sending a lot of 10% codes. So I'm gonna have to, but they do send the 20s. I'm gonna have to be more vigilant about using the 20s whenever they send them, because they don't send them like that easy anymore. Okay, that's done. Okay, let's do a patch real quick. A little Philmont patch. And these envelopes, I just like them way better than the ones I used to use. They're cheaper too, and they're just more flexible, and the overzealous postal employees, it kind of stays off of their radar. Okay, this is an interesting order. We have this is really cool, actually. This Payday mini race hood. And it says genuine mini race hood. What does that mean? Does that mean it's made out of a hood? I don't get it. Gettehoods.com. I guess I could go look at that website if it still exists. What makes that genuine? So that's on this order. That's been listed a long time. And then we also have these wrestling cards on the same order. And I'm just going to put the wrestling cards in just a little bit of bubble. We're going to use a 12-10-4 box. To pack everything in. This hood is heavy. I want to say it weighs, I bet this hood weighs over a pound. Yeah, definitely. No, it doesn't. Okay. But it does weigh an amount that I know that the total pack is going to be 2 pounds, over a pound. Once we factor in the cards and the packing materials, go. Alrighty. All right, packing one of these little dogs up, and these guys are just a little too big to go into 864s safely. So I am going to use a 1086 here. And I did like a little preliminary weight of it. And this should come in at, I'm thinking 15 ounces. I did make a, let me use a little more bubble. I did make another box order, like I said, and I got some of the actual newsprint this time. This this is great packing paper, but I just feel like on fragile stuff, lighter fragile stuff. Now, let me check my weight here. Look, 1 pound. On the lighter fragile stuff, it's sometimes this is a little too rigid. I would like the little bit lighter weight white paper in some cases. So I think having 2 papers is just how I need to do it. Okay, we do have a couple of posters going out today. And let's see. I'm going to use a 12-10-4 here. I can just kind of eyeball this. I don't need to measure it. Let's see. Go here. And this is a box that looks like had some other inventory on it at one point that I probably, if I had to guess, I don't remember offhand, but I probably took whatever was in here out, and somebody probably ordered more than one item, and I ended up using a different box. And I put it back on the shelf. Okay. Gonna have to trim these up some. Just kind of outline them. I'm not going with the level of precision I normally do. I think it'll still come out pretty good though. To be honest, a lot of times I probably try and, oops, that was a bad cut. I try and make things a little too perfect from time to time. And it ends up costing me time. Ooh, this blade is bad. Cutting paper and cardboard will dull a blade like, seems like almost nothing else. All right. That didn't take very long, did it? See how it comes out. This is why I usually measure, because when I don't, I seem to have to fumble around with it more on the back end. All right. Should work. Yeah. Yep, this is gonna work. Okay. And if it's not, as long as this one isn't over 22 inches, this, I think this is actually going to be going USPS. And it's, might not even be that heavy. Let's see, how heavy is it? 12 ounces maybe? Oh, look, it's not even 8 ounces. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I packed that one right. Sweet. I'm going to tape over my perforations here. And yeah. Okay, there we go. Oh man, I was packing away. I'm packing this LSU thing. And I was like, man, I forgot to run the camera. Using one of these 1266 box, which those are actually pretty good boxes too. I like them. Don't have a lot of occasion to use them, but I do like them when we do. All right, we're gonna pack a poster up. Mardi Gras poster. So this one's definitely going to be going. Well, let me make sure it can go UPS ground. Yep, it can. Good. Okay. Did see a lot of people don't really like the way I pack posters. I understand why, because it's probably a little more work. than most people want to do. And yeah, you can buy poster tubes. You definitely can buy poster tubes, and that will be easier. A lot of times though, the way I pack, I try and pack in a way that I can use what we have on hand, because I don't really like having a ton of different packing supplies. And poster tubes aren't super cheap either. But time isn't super cheap. So, I mean, I could see both sides of that. I get all of that. But I do think the way I show packing these might be helpful for someone that doesn't have poster tubes on hand and just has a one-off poster they need to ship, or someone that just wants to do it this way. So here it is. Do with it as you wish. I will say though that I've had very good results packing like this. I damn near cut my finger. Okay. Like one of the, and this poster isn't expensive, but a lot of the blacklight posters I was shipping were either around $100 or over $100. And I think I shipped about, man, this blade. You know what? I'll be back in a minute. I need to change this out. Okay, I guess I can show y'all me changing this blade out. Why not? Okay, let's take the screw out. It's kind of fidgety because everything's just kind of laying in there once you take that part off. Blade out, and then you can flip the blade. I've already flipped this blade once, so that blade is done. And then this thing does just use normal utility knife blades, so they're pretty cheap and they're easy to find. And usually what I have to do is I'll get this on there just kind of loosely, but since both the blade thing and the resizer part kind of need to be in their tracks, I kind of need to do that, and then I can come back, tighten. Man, that was so much faster. Every time I do it, I'm like, why didn't I do that sooner? Because it's going to make it so much easier. Also, I think I may have missed some footage here. I'm not having a good day. I'm not feeling the best today. But I did want to go ahead and film the packing video this week. Didn't want to put it off. Well, when you've been using a blade that's too dull for too long, and then you swap it out, oh my gosh, it feels like you're cutting through butter. It feels nice. Okay. Yeah. Before I changed that blade out, though, it felt like I was trying to do this with a butter knife. That was dumb. I've got multiple knives sitting around here. All right. I think these Irwin blades are fairly high quality, too. And they hold their edge a little longer. But yeah, packing this up, I can definitely, anybody that says this is a little much, I can't argue. This is a lot. especially for a poster. Especially for a poster that's like $25. This is a lot. Sometimes I can lose sight of that. But also, it's not just okay, this is how you pack this item. Oh wow, that does cut better. It's not just how, you know, I don't want to show on these videos, okay, this is how you pack an X. The idea is I want to kind of relate to you guys that boxes, you can get creative. You can reshape and resize boxes. And you can, when you look at a box, you don't have to just think, man, this is going to be cliche, inside the box. You can think outside the box and get outside the box on this stuff, get a little creative, and you don't need as many boxes that way. And there's a lot more times where you can get things done with what you actually have on hand. Okay. Because you know what the best box is? It's the one you have. That's the way I look at it. The best box is the one that I don't have to go out and buy or procure. Okay, I'll do it like that. No, I'll do it the other way. But keep in mind, I do get caught up sometimes, and it's not just in this, it's not just with this stuff, but I do get caught up sometimes in, golly gee, look, I can do this. And I lose sight, I can lose sight of, you know, yeah, let's pack this fast and keep it moving, because I do enjoy packing. I do enjoy finding solutions. Sometimes I can get lost in that. Let's put one piece there. And I do overpack. And I do use too much tape and all that kind of stuff. I'm guilty on all those counts. Okay, that one's done. Okay, we're packing this Gundam model. If you look, it's just a little over 12 inches long, which means I think I'm going to use one of those eBay boxes I was talking about. Something else I need to do. And they actually messaged. This stuff is actually in here really tight. But the buyer was a little concerned about the loose parts, which I totally get, because we have these loose parts here. And they just didn't want them banging around all the way to them. This particular case, I don't think that would have been an issue, because the box is actually pretty tightly packed already. But I know what they're talking about, because a lot of times these model kits are like, actually I'll just go ahead and put this into here. And I'll use some more bubble wrap. A lot of times these model kits, the boxes are like way too big. That's just not the case on this one. I didn't realize it. But it's not. Let me see. Oh yeah, that's hardly moving at all. I'll just get a couple more sheets of bubble wrap and we'll be good. Yeah, a lot of these model kits, you shake them and the parts will shake all the way from here to here. Whack, 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 whack. You don't want that. But if it's sealed, you can't do anything about it anyway. Okay, let me grab one of those eBay boxes. Here we go. So back to the, like, and this applies to anybody you watch on YouTube, and this also applies to how I watch YouTube too, because I have hobbies I do, and I go watch, outside of reselling, and I'll watch a lot of different videos of people doing the same thing I want to do, and just about every video I watch, I'm like, this must be 2 pounds. Yeah, it's a 2-pounder. I'm like, I wouldn't do it that way. I don't think that's the best way to do it, but oh, I like that part. That's a good idea. Or what's that tool they're using for that? Or I mostly disagree with most of the stuff I saw just now, but I picked this up. Like, that's the spirit that I think you should consume anytime you're watching, like, the Shed Flips channel or this channel or anything. It's not like I should do everything just like Lonnie does. Because you know what? Lonnie doesn't do everything in an optimal fashion, or you might not like doing some things the way I do them. And I'm telling you, when it comes to packing, nobody agrees on how to pack stuff, ever. So that's my best advice. Watch these videos if you want. Take some stuff away, leave some stuff here. And you got to figure out what to do with what. This was done. Okay, we're packing a higher value transformers thing here. Need a couple more pieces of bubble wrap on it. Candace, a lot of this stuff Candace did put bubble wrap on, but it wasn't like shipping bubble wrap, it was like shelving bubble wrap, if that makes any sense. Okay, I'm just adding a couple of pieces. This one has a pretty delicate window. And we're going to use a 16-12-10. If y'all can see that or not, pick it up a little bit. Okay. Back to talking about how people ship. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna grab. I have a couple of cutoffs from one of our poster packs that I'll use here. And I like to do this in the bottom. Really strengthens it up. But back to the way I pack real quick. I am glad that people do critique it a lot, because that gives other people exposure to other ways of packing that I don't talk about, because I pack like I pack, But what I will say about my packing methods is my stuff gets there. And my stuff, it's pretty rare that we have an issue. And now that I said that, we will, because stuff happens sometimes, but it's pretty rare for us. And I've shipped a lot of fragile stuff in the past year. So I may not always pack the ideal way, but I am a good packer. If the measure of a good packer is the stuff getting there undamaged. And ultimately that is that is the most important metric. My opinion. All right, this one. I got to take it real easy on this window. This is $100 plus collectible here. Okay, so I don't want to put too much pressure right here. So I'm thinking, let's see, I don't have a ton of scrap. Got these. I'm thinking what I'm going to do. I'm going to put these two pieces right here. And the idea is to any kind of force that is applied here will be distributed and not pinpointed in one area. And then I'm going to be really loose with my paper here. Okay, and then the good news is I have a lot of good strong cardboard, so I want to make sure whenever, this is what I'm thinking, okay? Whenever I fold this down, I don't want to exert a bunch of pressure on paper and crush the box. So, but here, look, here's the good thing. I've got all that coverage, and then I've got extra coverage here because of the resize. And we end up with a lot of good, strong cardboard on top, which is also protecting that window. So these are the things, I may not always say it, but these are the kind of things I'm thinking about while I'm packing. So I'm thinking about how much pressure I want to put on that top. I don't want it to rattle around, but I also don't want my packing, because sometimes your actual packing and pressure you put on stuff can destroy it. And that's worst case. Your packing is supposed to protect it, not destroy it. Okay, and I'm happy with that pack. Okay, we have these three figures now. This is the last order, by the way. Let's see. Oh, that roll of bubble wrap's cashed out. Oh, I was supposed to order bubble wrap yesterday and I didn't. Now is the time to order, though, because we've got 350 square feet left. Okay, so I'm going to go around each box with two pieces of bubble wrap. Usually, though, that is the indicator I use this time to order, because Bubble Boy typically gets the bubble wrap to us in 2 or 3 days, so we get it pretty quick. And this 350 feet of wrap that's on one roll, that lasts us a good while. They usually one of those 350 foot rolls will last us over a week, probably more like a couple of weeks, unless something crazy is going on. But We are using a little more than normal because as we list the transformers, a lot of that stuff is getting wrapped. So I do need to go ahead and order. And I'm going to use a couple of these eBay 1510 6s. And as y'all saw, I made like a stack. That's how we're going to do them. And they're going to be like that high. That's actually pretty good. I like that. Put them in there. This is another spot where I wish I had my little lighter weight paper. Which I should have, if I had, probably tomorrow I'll have it, I think. I'm not putting a ton of paper in here, just enough to immobilize it a little bit. There we go. So it's just so it's not bouncing around all the way there. Okay, and then we're going to take another box, the same exact box. And this will give us double wall on the sides, which is good because that's the weakest point on this because I'm making it pretty tall. There we go. Yeah, that's going to be a pretty good little pack there. I like that. The box stack like this is a good technique. I like that because you get a bigger box without much effort, and on top of that you get a much stronger box than if we had just stocked a box that was this size. This box is much stronger. Downside, you use 2 boxes, so there's a little bit of expense there. It's not free. So if I were using our Zorro boxes in this particular pack, I would have about probably $1.40 just into the boxes. Of course, all that stuff comes out of your profit margin. There's a happy medium though between watching every penny and dollar on packing stuff and making sure you pack well. And I lean more towards, the longer I do this, I lean more towards packing well and giving up a little bit of margin to make sure the stuff gets there and to provide good service to the customers. Okay, that is it. And that's the last package, and that's going to be it for this one. Thanks a bunch for watching, and I will see y'all again next week. Bye, y'all.